Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Anthony Howard. I am the founder, CEO, lead facilitator, and coach of HR Certified. And we are excited that you're here today. And we are excited to be here. Uh,
Yes.
and so with that, I'm going to turn it over to the other two before we dive in. Jessica?
Hi, guys. I'm Jessica Vieira. I am the affiliate manager and chief growth officer for HR Education Network. We have been providing HR online options for HR certification test preparation in partnership with HR Certified with our amazing instructors, Anthony and Amy, who you'll meet in just a minute. And we also provide recertification products as well. So once you have a credential, then we can help you recertify via online courses as well. And I'm so excited to be here. It's just going to be an awesome session, and I can't wait to get to know everyone and hear more from Anthony and Amy.
Yeah. Amy.
Yes. So my name is Amy Gomez. I've been teaching HR test prep for both the SHRM model and HRCI for about 5 years now. And I am Anthony's, co-presenter with Anthony, and we just have a fantastic time in class. So I really look forward to spending the next hour with you and getting to know you.
So, guys, even though we just introduced ourselves to you, we want you to introduce yourselves to us. Every single platform that we're on has a chat feature.
Yeah.
It has some emoticons going. Like we are. This is a conversation, but also we want to involve you in the process. So if you can just confirm that our streaming is working, can you give us a thumbs up? Can you practice the emoticon? Can you give us a comment just to make sure that we're just not talking to each other out there.
Oh, that wouldn't be so bad. I mean,
and
yeah,
while we're waiting for the chats to come in, just a little bit more about myself. I'm an HR practitioner by trade. I have been in the profession for a little bit over 20 years now. And in all of that aspect over the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years, I've dedicated myself towards instruction of the HR certification process, just because of the value that it has had for me. And so this is an awesome time, because we are making a formal announcement, and we are making it when there's a lot of turmoil in our industry right now. As you know, I'm known as that HR guy in the LinkedIn feeds, and when I'm in those feeds, I'm seeing those stories about people who have been laid off. I'm seeing about the impacts that it is also having to people. I've seen people going through the process of trying to find another job and being rejected at the same time. And none of us can solve everything, but we can all contribute in some way, shape, or form. So I said, well, I need to pick up the phone and call Jessica and see what we can do.
And that he was friends.
Right. What we can do. And Amy, and I knew Amy was going to join on, and it was like, you know what, let's do something about it. So that's the reason why we're making a special announcement. So I'm going to pause. Oh, there's some, wait a minute.
Some friends.
Yeah. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Dominique. Hi, how are you guys doing? All right, they're there. I'm still getting really excited. So anyway, that's the reason we're here, for two reasons. One, to be able to talk to you about what jointly HR Certified and HR Education Network is going to do, what we can do to help for those that are in transition, and then the other is to really, again, talk about the overall announcement that we have, because this was kind of separate and apart. This was already planned, but it just so happened to coincide. It's just like, we need to accelerate the process so that we can do something to help. Jessica?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. We all have a passion for just helping professionals grow. Anthony and Amy obviously have been doing that through certification, test preparation, and Anthony with his coaching and in their own organizations. And I've been in that continuing education space for such a long time, trying to really help professionals, get the information they need to do their jobs effectively, to be better in their role, to be more efficient in their role. And so this is just such a great opportunity to, kind of share with you some information about our organizations, but also, as we'll tell you about in a little bit, just kind of this special opportunity, just to kind of help address, what's going on right now. I feel like the HR space has just been through the ringer in the last several years, because of, just the state of the world, whether, COVID and the great resignation, the economy. There's so many factors. And I don't know that until being in this area, knew how much of the changes and the adaptations that have had to been made over the last several years fell squarely in that HR space. And so kudos to you guys who are out there, every day killing it and, figuring out how to make this work for your companies and all of those things, and kind of dealing with the ongoing, just kind of turmoil that's happening right now. This is a very interesting time, but HR is more crucial than ever, and we're just happy to be here to help whoever we can, grow in that path. We need good HR professionals in every company at this point because everyone's dealing with a lot.
Amy, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's so true, Jessica. And, being part of our class, we always lean on the class's examples for, relating the concepts to what you're doing in your workplace, or, what, I saw that happen 2 years ago or something. So it's always great to have the different industry experience and HR professionals' examples brought to the class. And then it's also a great way to network. So, Jessica, while she was talking about how much is on HR professionals' shoulders, you can come to class, and if you're not networking in person because of how much is on your desk and how busy you are, this is a great way to network as well. And you can come and share ideas, and then also make connections and have some different HR professionals to bounce ideas off of. So,
yeah. Well, with that, with this baseline, we have a lot to talk about. So let's get started with the very first exciting one. And that excitement is that HR Certified and HR Education Network has decided to join together in a joint partnership together, right? That means that we are combining our resources as it pertains to our service delivery to our clients and to our customers. I can't tell you how excited I am about that. I have partnered with HR Education Network for the majority of time that I've been incorporated, but as a subcontractor. Now we're partners.
Exactly.
And our reach has expanded. Our capabilities has expanded. We were realizing that there were certain things that I was good at, that HR Certified is good at, and then HR Education Network is good at. And just imagine that together. But I will tell you that the commonalities is what brought us together. And the commonalities is our passion for this. The impacts that we know happen when people not only pass their certification, but then they do something greater with it. We have countless stories of people who are in the class who've been through the journey that we've partnered with. So many testimonies. And every single time, and Amy will tell you this too, at the end of each class, we don't want to let them go. We're like, no, you can't. You got to stay here. We got to, it's almost just it's like we go through separation anxiety.
Yeah.
And so, number one, we're passionate about it, and we care about our people. Anybody that choose us to do this is not you just clicking the link. You are now a part of an organization that really truly cares. As long as you're committed, that we're going to see that through with you. And then last but not least is the client, is the service that you're going to get, right? So with my team and with Jessica and with the instructors that are out there and the coaching, oh my goodness, it's just enhancement upon enhancement upon enhancement. Benefits not only for us as an organization, but more importantly, how our joint partnership will be to you, because this is an investment into your future, right? And so that's the announcement. I mean, I hope I didn't steal your thunder, Jessica. I'm
No.
just so excited about this.
I know. I'm so excited as well. And like the best thing is honestly, we have been really blessed to work with Anthony and HR certified and Amy as our instructor. Like, I mean, literally, I work with the best people. Like, I don't know, I don't know how, like, not everyone can be this lucky to like work with the best people. But I mean, we've been partnered together in some capacity or working together for many years, as Anthony said. And guys, we have seen each other through a lot of what probably some of you are experiencing now through, getting jobs, losing jobs, new jobs, changing positions, part-time to full-time, to being in transition. And like, we've all been there and we've seen each other through that. And so when it came down to thinking about like, what could we do to help, how, like, what would partnership look like? It was a no-brainer, because working with Anthony, working with Amy, I mean, working with HR Certified for so many years, like, I trust them. They are amazing people. Anthony and his team are fantastic. We all, like Anthony said, share this passion for continuing education in whatever capacity that is. We all share a passion for delivering the best, highest quality product we possibly can. I want every person who is in one of our classes to walk away feeling like they gained knowledge. They are ready for an exam. They can go back to their work a better HR professional. That is my goal. That's Amy's goal. That's Anthony's goal. And you can't say that honestly about every provider out there. That's just not reality, unfortunately. And so in choosing or thinking about and considering strategic partners, there are very few that I feel like share my standards for what we do. And Anthony and HR Certified fit the bill, like, without question. So we are thrilled about this partnership. It just allows us to, as Anthony said, bring more ways to help grow HR professionals. I know for both Anthony and Amy, certification was pivotal in their careers. And that is one of the reasons that we kind of which we'll tell you about in a minute. We wanted to partner on this particular project we're going to tell you about as well, because we know that there are people right now who need something to kind of push them to the next level, to get them to the right spot, to help them find that forever job, right? Not like just a job, but like the job that you really want, the place where you fit. And this might be the tool that gets you there. And I hope that it is. So yes, again, like, you guys, these are the best people right here. I just can't say enough good things about our team, our collective team now, really, right?
Yeah, our collective team. Yeah.
Yes. And so thank you guys for coming here to let us kind of make that really special announcement. Like, literally, we've all been like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, for like 2 weeks as we've kind of been working through what that looks like. So to be able to like say it out loud is really, really fun. So yes. And Anthony, feel free to jump in and share anything else you want to share.
I'm just gonna say, Amy, I mean, what's your thoughts about, all of this and, connecting it to it? I know that you taught even prior to HR Education Network. I mean, what was kind of like, why are you here? Like, and how does that compare to other providers that you taught with or maybe even went through?
Yeah, both these organizations, HR Education Network and HR Certified, I just see so much heart and dedication in what we're doing and what they do. And the reason why I wanted to join, with them, we're not just an HR test prep factory, just go through the class and then it's like, see you, goodbye, wish you good well. But we really care about you and care about your development. Like Jessica said, we want you to go back to your workplace and have ideas. And that's frequently when we're finishing a class, that's frequently what students tell us, that they've learned so much. One person, when we did our compensation section, she's like, I learned more right now in this hour and a half about compensation than I did in my whole university class about it that lasted a semester. So we really do see those, rewards reaped in our class and our content. So again, I'm just super excited that HR Certified and HREN are now a strategic partnership, and that I get to come along for the ride.
Of course, of
Yes,
course.
yes.
Now, so now that we're together, right? What does that mean? What does that mean for you, right? We're still trying to figure it out ourselves, but there are some things that are going to be there right away. The first one is that we'll be able to have events just like this. More events where we're together, in which we're providing thought leadership and accessibility to you, right? So that means to be honest with you, when I first started this, y'all didn't see me. Y'all didn't even know who I was. Y'all just saw this sign and that was it. Then I went from that to me being on the feeds and the text. The next thing you know, video, right? You're going to see a lot more of us out in this space. And the reason why is this thing of HR certification is complex. But in my mind, it's simple. But for somebody who hasn't lived it, ate it, breathed it, benefited from it to the extent that I have, there's questions, there's concerns, there's issues, right? And our goal is for you to make the best choice, right, on what's best for you. And so I've been in these feeds. So I'm looking through here to find a poll that I put out there so we can talk about some of this stuff. Yes. And have transparency around this process. Because if you get just one angle, more than likely you got it wrong. And so it's good that we have an audience here. I want you to ask your questions about all things HR certification so we can go ahead and if we don't know it, we'll tell you we don't know it and we'll follow up with you. Ain't that what we say in our meetings?
Yes.
But this is the answer. To talk about it, right? We're going to spend a few minutes to talk about some of those things that have been on your mind that maybe have been barriers for you to be like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to do this right here. So the first one that I want to ask, and I'm just going to get right to it, is which certification is more valuable? I'm going to share my screen, y'all, because I'm going to share what the streets have been saying about that question. And while I do that, put it in the chat, put it in the comments about which certification do you think is more valuable? SHRM, HRCI, both, or neither one of them are valuable? Neither one of them. I gotta blow this up. This is not.
I know. I'm like, I can't see that. I'm gonna need glasses.
Hold on. Can I see? Can y'all see it better now?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. I'm gonna have to put y'all off to the side somewhere. Wait.
Here we are.
Still can't see it that much. Hold on. This is still development opportunity for me. All right. I need somebody in the chat to answer that question. Which certification do you think is more valuable? SHRM, HRCI, both, or neither? Okay. So, because I don't want us to start with this yet. I want to hear what people say. But you know what? Let's go based off the survey. Okay. 210 people answered the survey, and they said both are equal. But then we got an equal amount of people that said one or the other.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's a little small piece. I'm not going to click on the votes. I ain't going to throw no names out here that say no value in either. And you know what? There are some scenarios in which it isn't.
True.
So let's talk about it. I'm going to go last.
Okay.
Amy, what's your answer to this?
I'm one of the people who think both are equal. I think each, the same body of knowledge applies to both, and the way that you study, or the body of knowledge that you're studying, is the same in both. Now, SHRM has a certain spin on it, and then HRC High has a certain spin on it. So It's just packaging the body of content a little bit differently in each of the methods. But for me personally, the value in professional certification has been invaluable in my career. And so I'm in the camp of both are equal.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Amy. Jessica.
Hello, Anthony. Thank you. You sounded very formal when you said my name right there. You were like, Jessica. I like that. So okay, here's my take on it. So I do feel truly, I mean, no disrespect to the 7%, because as Anthony pointed out, there can be people and scenarios where people truly will not gain a value from certification, depending on the company that they're working for, how long they're planning on being in that position. Maybe they don't intend to go to another role or another, things like that. Like there are scenarios where it would not be maybe worth the time or expense for certification. So again, no disrespect to those people. However, I feel like generally across the board, in this day and age, first of all, any certification is better than no certification, right? Number one. That I just think right now it's super important to be able to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. If you are in a job looking for a promotion, maybe you're looking for a new role, having a certification, I feel like is going to help you. Number one. In terms of HRCI, okay, here's how I generally, I feel like, I'm going to say this, but like with an asterisk. Generally speaking, I feel very much like Amy. I feel like right now, I've not ever heard of a scenario where a company, most of you are probably seeing that in the job listings now, a lot of companies are listing HR certification preferred. Or even some required, right? Mm-hmm. Never have I ever heard of a scenario where someone is requesting a SHRM certification and will not accept an HRCI certification, the equivalent, or vice versa, right? Like they're essentially interchangeable. I have not yet heard of a scenario like that. So in that sense, I would say both are equal. They're both equally weighted. Okay. I will say, however, if we look at the history of the certifications, HRCI was actually they were the certifying arm of SHRM for now going on 40 years, right? They were the only name in the game for 40 years. And so from that standpoint, I feel like they've kind of evolved and grown and changed their program and been able to kind of do some different things over the course of that time. And so, SHRM is relatively, they're 5-6 years into this as well. So they have a big membership recognition. And I just think from my standpoint, I think the HRCI has that history and has kind of been in the game for a lot longer. So if I had to pick one, and when I picked one for myself, I went the HRCI route. But that's just kind of my personal preference. So anyway, that was a really long answer, but that was my asterisk. Mm-hmm. I think both are equal, like if you're just considering them. However, for me personally, I felt like I wanted to go the HRCI route when I was getting a certification.
Yeah. I see Sheila in the chats had said SHRM. If you could put in the chat on why SHRM was preferable to you, as I kind of go over my response to it.
And hey, Danielle, I see your question also, which is an excellent question, and we are totally going to get there. So I just wanted to speak to that and let you know, we didn't miss you.
Yes. So I we coach our students that you take the certifications that are aligned with where you want to go, right? So I say it's political. If there is a preference on one or the other, it's political, because guess what? Compensation philosophies and the way you should implement that is the same, regardless of whether or not that's HRCI or SHRM, right? Think about it as it's a PlayStation 5 wrapped differently, with different packaging, with different wrapping, different paper, right? So the contents are the same. It's just how you unbox it could be different. And so my summary is for HRCI that it is on the what, like it's more emphasis on the what, how you apply it. And while on the SHRM, it's more basically on the how, right? It's like you are thrust into a situation and your question is more on not on defining the best practice, but how do you use that in this scenario? And guess what? And if you study it the same way, or you go with the right test prep provider to help you unlock that, and as long as they bring that stuff to life, guess what you prepare for? Both of them. Both of them.
Yes. And to that point, about 40% of our students, like of our hundreds of students, about 40% have opted to take both exams, like, kill two birds with one stone, and are successful on both. So to Anthony's point, HR is HR, right? It doesn't change because it's in a different label. So
we say maximize your investment and get both, and then it's no longer political for you.
Exactly.
Right? But if you got to narrow it down, guess what you do? You don't even have to ask for permission. Wherever you're going, go to LinkedIn, look at their people and look at the hiring managers and see what they got.
Yep.
Then guess what? You know what you got to get.
Yes. And Sheila actually made a great point too. This is another thing we tell people when they're considering which certification is right for them. She's saying she's been looking and seeing desired skill as having a SHRM certification. There are people who or company or regions even that like seem to ask for one over the other. Again, not that means that if you have the other one, you are like disqualified. I've never seen that happen. But we do see pockets where like a region might kind of favor one or ask for one over the other. So Sheila, that is a great point. And another way, like Anthony said, go search the company and look at what their team's got, right? Or go look and search some job postings in your area and see what people are looking for. Those are both great ways to kind of figure out what route you want to go, or just do both, like Anthony said.
And if I could just,
go ahead.
I was just going to add something. HR professionals know how difficult and the study process is. So I think if you are in the job search and they see a certification that you've obtained, or maybe I've seen some folks put, Amy Gomez, candidate for PHR. So they know you're in the study process and preparing for the exam. What I was going to say is that HR professionals know how tough that is. So it's sort of like they realize that you've gone above and beyond to prepare yourself and to make yourself the best HR professional that you can be.
Amy, that is an
I want you to know, right? No, Jessica, you got to get a terminology right. That's a hack, y'all.
Sorry, next time, Anthony. I don't know that I can deliver it as well as you, but still.
Yes, it's a hack. You put your pen, paper down together. That's a hack. That's a shortcut. That's the cheat code on Contra on the Nintendo cartridge. That is a hack, y'all.
If you're my middle school.
Listen, that's a new one.
That's the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, I just gave my age up. That's fine.
Right.
So
I mean, I feel like I have a middle schooler. I'm super old. It's fine.
All right. Now we're gonna do two more hot topics, then we're gonna get into it. Because this is what we're talking about, guys. Like we want you to do what's best for you. We're not gonna steer you the wrong way. And also, I will say, HR certification is not good for organizations that have their own way of doing HR.
Anthony, tell us about your recent experience.
No, just in general. Just in general. If you governments,
yes,
utilities,
military,
union-based, military, it may not be, right? But if you're pivoting from those to other areas, perfect.
Yes.
I'll send you the link.
I was actually going to say that we actually do see a lot of people who are transitioning to a more civilian role or out of a government role or those kind of things who are seeking certification, not only to make themselves more marketable, but to just kind of understand the lay of the land, right? It is different. So definitely that's a good thing to keep in mind. Like it will not only help you be marketable, but it'll help you like prepare for what's coming, right?
Yeah. And so there's one other topic that I definitely want to be able to touch because we hear it all the time. One of the barriers that we hear all the time is cost. It's cost too much. They just want our money. That's what they want, right? And so what we want to to be able to really just bring this into perspective. Think about how much you spent for a conference in which you probably didn't go to any of the breakout sessions. How much was that? And then even when you did, every session was just a little spice, just a little bit, right? When you think about quality training, when you think about what is it going to that's going to give you the best bang for your buck, you have to think about it more than just it being a piece of paper in a picture frame. You got to think further than that. You got to think, as an HR professional, you're going to be thrust into situations that you are not going to plan for. And what better way than to get equipped with the entire body of HR knowledge than to go through that process of getting certified? What I'm saying is, this is not just to pass a test. This is not just to put letters after your name. This is for you to be able to be equipped and dynamic and flexible enough to where you can redeploy yourself in whatever facet of HR you're thrust into. And it's those type of examples that Amy and I bring together when we're bringing that content to life where you can apply it in that kind of way, shape, or form. Guess how much that's worth? It's priceless. One aspect that I'll just bring is that I've never worked in a union before, but I wound up working in a blue collar environment in a period of transition. And during that time, I worked at a site that was going to the threat of unionization. Guess what? Guess what served as the baseline for me to come back like I was a subject matter expert? And to this day, that plant is union free. Certification. And now, guess what has happened? Unionization is back. Starbucks, Amazon. You thought you was safe in the corner. Then I don't do union. I don't do union. I don't do. No, you ain't gonna have no choice, because if unionization happened while you're an HR person, you're not gonna lose. You're gonna lose your job. But how about getting equipped to where you can avoid the company from being unionized in the first place? So when people ask me two questions is, oh, it sounds too expensive. Well, what is it that you're trying to do in your HR career, right? And then what is it that you're spending on that you could reallocate that to be an investment and have an immediate return on your investment? And the second is, what's your pass rate? How about how many people after they got promoted was able to get successfully into HR from coming from another profession, or that got that promotion, or that finally got the call that they had been waiting for just because they got the letters after their name? That it opened up a networking opportunity for them to be able to talk about, right? These are the priceless things that you, going back to, why are you in this? And if it's just to get the letters, then yeah, it is expensive to get that piece of paper in that frame, right? So anyway, but the thing is that, and again, that our passion is not about doing this for the money. Our packages and our services are one in which is equivalent to what you would probably get as the SHRM Learning Center, right? But you could get the materials, the context, the cohort, all of that for probably equal, and still study for both. And again, we are not advocating or going against anything that's out there. But what it does require is a conversation on what's the best pathway in order for you to get to your end result. And our goal, our joint goal, HR Certified and HR Education Network, is to reduce those barriers so that you can accomplish your goal and make sure that this is the right path. Because we're not going to say everybody should get it, because you shouldn't. Last question that's out there, and then there's questions that's blowing up. This is good, but we got to talk about this because this is recent. This is hot off the press. Have you know about the changes to the HRCP, y'all? HRCP eligibility requirements changed, and we put it out there. That HR guy put it out there, and the majority of you didn't even know that. I didn't know that. We didn't know that. Just let me turn it over before commentary. Amy, what did you know about that?
So it came as a surprise, and actually Jessica tipped tipped me off to it that it was happening. So that was what, about a week and a half ago that
I think it
you
was out there a little bit longer than that, but it's
Really?
changed, Jessica.
Yeah.
As Amy said, a few weeks ago, I discovered this, but the change was made back in May, June, like that time frame. But very quietly, there wasn't a lot of, which is why a lot of people, I think, don't know about it. But yes, the change was made pretty quietly, actually. So, it's interesting. And Anthony, I'd love for you. Yes, I was about to say, I'd love for you to go back to that because I was interested to see what people's response was. I mean, should I go ahead and outline
Yes,
what
yes,
the
yes,
okay.
yes.
So what's happened is essentially, and again, I'm going to just say this is, to me, feels like another kind of political move here. There's always these kind of things happening and it's hard to kind of read, but what SHRM recently changed. So essentially the SHRM CP used to be the equivalent to the PHR, right? It was the professional level, standard, basically certification. And that meant that you had to have a certain number of years of actual HR experience, right? That was like part one of the requirements. They were very similar. It's something like, based on your degree level, your level of education, as well as your, number of years of work experience. That's kind of the matrix that determines your eligibility. And so it was something like if you had a college degree, I think it was 2 to 3 years of actual HR experience for the PHR and CP, which means you needed the combination of the book learning to some extent, as well as you needed some years like boots on the ground, right? You needed some actual years of experience. And what happened in May or June, whenever they made this announcement, was that they essentially said, okay, well, we're going to kind of adapt the eligibility requirements for the CP to essentially make it so that you don't have to actually have work experience. Like students in college who are coming out or, just coming out of school could go ahead and get a CP with like right away without any work experience. Mm-hmm. So it's different, right? I mean, on one hand, I guess it makes it accessible earlier to people. Now, HRCI has the APHR, which is the associate PHR, which is their kind of, and right now, or technically the only entry level certification that's out there. So I guess this is SHRM's answer to that, right? That they're going to make the CP, make people eligible for the CP earlier without the work experience. So it's interesting. On one hand, it makes it more accessible to people earlier. On the other hand, it's interesting to see, like, it looks like 30-ish% felt like it decreased the value of their certification, right? People who are holding the CP as a professional level certification might feel like, hey, wait a minute. If I have the professional level certification and people who have no experience in HR can also have it, like, what does that mean for me? So it's interesting. I'm glad that was a great poll, Anthony. Good insight.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this more. So Jessica don't know this is hot off the press. Our next LinkedIn Live event is that we're going to be talking about HR certification in a broader sense. So our December LinkedIn Live event is going to elaborate on this, other things, and I'm going to invite also other test prep providers, maybe a representative from HRCI, SHRM. Like, let's talk about it. Let's really lean in on this. So, but these are the examples of now our capabilities as jointly, right? As part of HRC HR certification. Look, what's going on? HR Certified and HR Education Network coming together. We're able to do stuff like this.
There's too many acronyms, guys. We're going to tell you right up front. You're going to hear too many.
Jessica, before we move forward, there's some questions that was there I didn't want to go to make sure that we get to them. I think it was Danielle that asked about the study, about the amount of time that it takes to do the studying. I can't find her comment.
I can find it right here. She says, realistically, how much time should someone prepare to dedicate to study for these exams? Which is an excellent question. It's one that every single person getting ready to test prep needs to ask themselves, because it's going to help you determine what type of program works for you. We are going to tell you about a special opportunity that we have going on, but that's in a very specific time frame, and I think will work for some people who are in transition. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. But we also offer, through HR Certified and HREN, we offer an accelerated course, which is like a 7 to 8 week program for people who are kind of more aggressive in their time frame and can devote more time on a daily basis. We've got a 12-week and a 16-week program, so we've really got options for you. So that's a great question to ask yourself. The short answer, I always think about it in terms of hours. The average test prepper is going to spend 100 to 150 hours to prepare, right? That's to get through the reading material. That's going to do the additional hours of video that we have that come with our program. That's going to include your live sessions and any review and extra study. So, when you're thinking about your time frame, you need to kind of keep that 100 to 150 in mind. If you're looking at the 16-week program, you're looking at something like an hour-ish a day on average, right? Like, that's a pretty reasonable amount of time for someone to spend. Obviously, though, that means that you're working over a much longer period of time. If you're in the accelerated class, that comes to something like 2 to 3 hours a day of study on average, which may or may not be great for you. Some people really like that. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid, right? You you've got to head down, power through for 6 to 8 weeks. But then it's done, and you're not trying to drag this on over a long period of time. There's HR Certified has a class. Anthony, yours is right at 12 weeks, right?
Yep.
So there you're looking at something like an hour and a half to 2 hours a day of study. So that's, again, a great question. Definitely you need to evaluate that. And that is, again, that's to prepare fully, to do all of the reading, to do the videos, to do all those things. And that is what we recommend. It doesn't work the other way, guys. Like the handful of people that we know who come to us and are like, man, I wasn't successful, are the first ones to tell you, like, I thought I could shortcut it. Like I didn't think I had to do all the reading. I didn't think, and that, unfortunately, it's not that kind of exam. I feel like I'm a really good test taker. It would not have worked if I was just like, I got this. Like, it's not that kind.
Jessica, guess what?
What?
We got somebody on the panel. Jennifer is the director of HR.com. And so she wants to be on the panel. Oh my God, that's awesome. Awesome. You see, when you throw it out there, it manifests itself.
So
Jennifer,
true.
We would love to have you on the panel. Now, if we can get some more, because it's worth it. It's worth having the discussion and having different perspectives on here. And it attests that we're here for the right reasons.
Yes.
We're here for the right reasons. We're not here for you just to click the link. We want you to really be able to benefit from off of it. And again, I can't tell you enough how much professional development and certifications has had for my life. Seriously, right? I'm from the South Side of Chicago, not that CNN clip that you see when we were trying to get the Olympics, right? Right. It's just, it has been truly impactful. And just to know that the impacts that we have as HR professionals to making work experiences great for people who choose corporate America as their way of life, right? This is important work. So why not? We need to show up for that, right? All right, drum roll. It's I'm looking at the time. Look, we can't. Right. So this is really why we accelerated this process. Is for those that have been impacted by layoffs. That look, now you got the time. And more than likely, depending on your employer, you may have the temporary resources to be able to do it. Because as Jessica had talked about, the time, you got to put in the time to do it. This is not one of those, do not think just because of your experience that you can go to the testing center and pass. That's not the way this works. It is based off best practice, based off research. That's not the practice that your employer uses, right? And that is the kind of the shortfall, in particular for senior level people, because they think they got it all. They think they know it all. Yeah, you know it all from where you at. but not probably in accordance to the best practice, the best approach. And again, and you might have a little opinion about that, like, best practice is not always the good practice. And you're right, because if everybody did best practice, then how do you distinguish what sets your culture apart? What sets your apart? What is it that's different about you than anybody else? But a good baseline still is best practice, right? So anyway, excited to be able to do this. We're going to send you the link, and we're going to talk about this aspect. And again, this offer is only good for those of you those individuals who have been impacted by a layoff. So that means if you are gainfully employed, this does not apply, but it doesn't mean that we wouldn't want to welcome you, right? We have a calendar set for 2023 that we are ready to accept enrollments today, right? But if you or somebody else is there, and this was very methodical. This is us going back behind the scenes and in order for us to deliver to you what we promised as it relates to the level of quality, there is an investment that's required, right? We are not a .org, right? But at the same time, this is the deepest discount that we could make and still be able to provide all the options that are available depending on the way that you study, right? So I'm going to go ahead, and while I do that, I don't know, Amy or Jessica, if you wanted to say anything while I bring up the link.
Right, you get the links. No, Anthony's absolutely right. This is something we're putting together specifically for people who are in transition, who have been impacted by layoffs, who are looking for their next role. Because two reasons. One, we are offering deeply, deeply discounted pricing. I mean, I will tell you, our regular pricing is about the deepest discounted pricing you're going to find. This is seriously special pricing because we want to make it accessible for people who are in that spot, who are going, through a difficult time. They're looking for their next role. They want to make the most of the time that they have. Like as Anthony said, you may temporarily have funds that you didn't have before to do this, but we want to still make it accessible for you. So that's one thing. The other thing is, there are multiple levels, which we'll talk to you about. But if you are enrolling in the actual, we're calling it a boot camp because it may feel like a boot camp, guys. But it is essentially a 4-ish week program. So do the math real quick on that 100 to 150 hours. You're looking at 25 to 30 hours a week. Okay. That's it's like a part-time job right there, a solid part-time job. But again, we want people who are in that spot, who now have that time. We want you to use that time to help get you to your next place, right? To get you to the next place, your next role, the next level, whatever it is that you're looking for. And so this was just truly a way that our organizations could partner to help in this unique situation, people who kind of find themselves in this spot and want to make the most of that time. Again, be thinking about that. If you want to join this program, we would love to have you. If you are, in transition and looking for something else, make sure you are ready to commit the time to do so.
Yeah.
It's not one you can push fast forward on.
Amy, did you want to comment on just a high level about what outcomes that they can expect from the course?
Yeah, definitely. So, back a number of years ago when I was first studying for my PHR at that time, I participated in a classroom style environment. I knew that I was not a self-study person. I would, put that off, and my procrastination would get the best of me, and I wouldn't be prepared for the exam. So I definitely see the value in a classroom style virtual format that we do. And so it keeps you accountable. You know that you need to have your reading done by that next Saturday or by that next Wednesday, whenever the class is. And the outcome that you can expect is that, we all come together. Again, you can find an accountability partner through the class. We use LinkedIn to really engage with each other throughout the week. If you have questions, you can post that in the LinkedIn. So it's not, we only get together on Saturdays and that's it. You can touch base with us at any time throughout the week, and we're there for you.
I'll send you more emails than you ever wanted to get. I will check in. I'll send you follow up. It's like a whole thing. You're going to see more of us than you want, but like in a good way.
Jessica sends the emails. I send the links.
Exactly. That's how we divided it. That's part of the partnership deal.
That's right. So I just wanted to show this because if you see here, this doesn't say business management. This doesn't say talent acquisition. This doesn't say comp and benefits. This doesn't say labor relations. This says, how do you translate that to add value today? How do you add value today? How can you position yourself for that opportunity of your dreams tomorrow? And this is the whole purpose in our philosophy, is that while we have the entire body of knowledge in front of you, let's activate these things, right? What will you learn? And this is how we bring it to life through the purpose. By the time you get to the last week with us, the certification is more like a sidebar. It's like, oh my God, I've learned so much, right, from out of this. And so, right, what we have been able to do is all of our options are discounted. Some of them are discounted up to 38%.
And remember, guys, that's off of our already discounted bundles, right? So like this is the best we can do and still like not lose money on the deal.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, by that time we are donating time, right? Our return is still a return. We still got to live. We still got to eat.
So true.
I would still like to have Starbucks coffee. Donate today. I'll send you the link. But this is about that we want to be able to reduce the barriers that's out there. And if you have questions on that link that has been put out there, and we're going to put into the socials. If you have questions, fill this out, and either Jessica or I will reach out to you, because again, we can't answer all the questions. But it also, that the deadline to enroll is Monday, November 21st. After that is closed, because we're actually starting classes for those that are choosing to do the class part on this. I'm gonna keep going here. Everybody has their different style of being able to do this. So if I can have if Jessica, if you can go over the first two and I go over the next two buckets.
Absolutely. So the first two, so you may find yourself, maybe you are already in the process, right? You've got some materials, you're maybe started the reading, maybe you've thought about starting the reading and the pile's sitting on the table next to you, but you haven't gotten there yet. So if you're in that bucket where you've already got the materials and you're already kind of in that mode, but you're just like, hey, I need something more. Like I've got to supplement this. If you, as Anthony and Amy said, like that content for a lot of people, like has to be brought to life. When I first read the materials on my own, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm reading and I'm not retaining anything. It's in one ear, out the other. But as soon as I like got into a conversation, I listened to Anthony and Amy. They like talked through it with me. I was like, okay, totally makes sense. I'm here now, right? I got this, and I could move on. So if you're in that bucket, I've got the materials. I've already decided I want to prep, but you need a little bit more. We have this on-demand video supplement.
We're on there. Amy and I are on there. Amy and I are on there.
It's a lot of them, guys. It's like 36 hours of Amy and Anthony, but like in the best possible way. It's essentially close to 7 hours of video that supplements each unit of study, right? So it really does add a lot. It really brings a lot to life. So that's one option.
No, wait a minute. You got to tell them how much this is. Look.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yep. So
Anthony's like the Vanna, or I'm the Vanna. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah. This is the one that's highly discounted. We're offering that for only $249. And
that's
could you tell me what the regular price? What's the regular price, Jessica?
That's normally $400.
Right. Right. And again, we see a lot of people out in these streets with materials and self-study groups and all this kind of stuff, and y'all need help. If that's the case, this is perfect for y'all.
Right. It's just a little bit more. It's going to help you get help with that application. Okay. So the next plan is for the person who's like a true self-study person. You don't have the materials yet, but you decided, you know what, I can do this on my own. Right. Which, guys, this is how I determined this for myself. Amy kind of spoke to this a little bit too, but like, think about the gym, right? For me, when I think about the gym, I will do 10 times better going to a fitness class where there's an instructor who's telling me exactly what to do and where to go and how long to work out than I will if I just go to, the gym and I like hop on the treadmill and then I see a friend who I'm going to talk to for 10 minutes and then I'm going to like lift a few weights, right? Like I'm not a self-study person, but I know self-study people. Right? Like I know the people who can go to the gym and will do a 2-hour workout that they've structured like nonstop and they're like on it, right? I'm not that person. You guys might be that person. If you're that person, then you would want to do our self-study package, which is your HRCP materials along with those videos. So the materials, guys, if you don't know, are so awesome. They're so comprehensive. They come with, the online materials have 900 pages of content, which don't be scared. It's really interesting and necessary, as well as 14 practice assessments totaling over 1,000 questions. It comes with online flashcards and all the things that you need. Like you literally need nothing beyond those materials and practice assessments to be successful. If you can focus yourself, right? That's one thing. If you need that extra help with the application, this is for you, right? You need the materials and you need someone to help you bring it to life. This is for you. It's normally $800 and we have marked it down to $549. Again, that is to make this as accessible as possible to people. But please know that if you're choosing this option, this is going to be you and the books and the videos. That's what it is. You're going to need to pace yourself, set yourself a study schedule, which you need to do, and get yourself through that material. But it's a great option for those like who are really driven and really can like motivate themselves to stick to a schedule. Hashtag not me, but good for those of you who can do that.
All right. So we're going to the next book, and now this is build up, right? So you have Amy and I regardless, right? But now you take it to the next level where you need live instruction. So this is everything Jessica said, plus dedicated times in which you come back and you are part of a cohort of individuals, and there's live instruction by me for the during, so we call it the boot camp, because normally it's 14 weeks, but it's 7 weeks. That means it's intense. Everything, all the disclaimers that they talked about, you gotta have the time to do this, right? But if you want a cohort, if you want live instruction to be able to come back and remix everything you just talked about, including the videos, and to have that checkpoint, right? Have a milestones that you're going through with that, to ask questions live, then that is for you. And the 7-week cohort, wait a minute.
It does exist.
The link.
Right.
I gotta fix the link.
And while Anthony's working on that, I will tell you, this is the accountability piece is what most people need who opt to take a class. This is why, because it keeps you on track and it keeps you accountable.
So the class is going to be for 7 weeks, and it begins right after Thanksgiving. So Jessica, could you remind me what the schedule?
It's actually a little bit shorter than that, Anthony. Like I love where your head's at. It's actually closer to about 5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
But it's the 29th, I believe, and then we have it wrap up right around right before Christmas, guys. Like our goal is, which is why I was saying earlier, you're looking at probably 20 to 25 hours ish a week of study.
Yep.
Between the live sessions, the reading, and the things that you're doing. So again, this is for people who are in transition. Obviously, if you have a full-time job right now, this is probably not something you can do. And obviously the offer is not for people who are gainfully employed, as Anthony pointed out, but it wouldn't be physically possible.
Or you've tried this underneath another system, or you've attempted it, or it's kind of like, this is kind of like a refresher for you, right? Because you've been through the content, or you've kind of given up as it relates to it, but now you can come on back with that HR guy and help you bring it on back. So it's every Tuesday. At the first week, don't feel pressure. The first week will be orientation, where we give you your first assignments, and then we come back every week after that. We're basically doing a unit a week to get you prepared, right, for that. You can do it. You can do it if you have the time. And then the last one is, you know what? I need a coach with this. You know what? I can't. I don't have the discipline to go ahead. I need somebody to help me that based off my scores to be able to tell me what I need to study, when I need to study it, and how I bring it to life. Then you need professional coaching along with that. We didn't go back with the price for the live instruction. It's $749. And what's the regular price for that, Jessica?
$1,000.
Right. And then guess what? It's for $1,000. That's all that plus coaching. Plus coaching. And any of you who have ever had it, I undervalued what coaching does, but coaching is awesome. Coaching is more than likely what your executives have. Coaching is is also these successful people we see out in these streets. More than likely, it's somebody whispering in their ear to help them activate whatever it is that they got going on. Until I became part of the Forbes Coaches Council, I never truly understood that. And as a business owner, like having a coach is invaluable. Everybody should have a coach and a mental health professional. Those are the two people that you need to have behind your corner to activate your full potential. So anyway, the boot camp with just live instruction, and we have a cohort is there, $749. I lead that. And then for the boot camp with live instruction plus one-on-one coaching, to limitations apply. That would be with the one with for $9.99 for the regular rate. So those are it. Look, I know that we're like 1 minute over. We kind of stuffed everything on, and again, this is more of our outreach. One, to announce our joint partnership together, our enhanced capabilities based off and then to show you difference, which is we want to get the information accessible. We want to do what's best for you and give you the options that make sense for your trajectory and where you want to end it. Amy was real quiet during that whole last part because we was all excited, bouncing around in the box and everything. And, Amy, what you got to say about what you?
Yeah, I'm just happy that there's products for wherever you are in your test prep study journey. So there's price points and whatever fits your budget and your time at this time. It will really, solidify and help you get on your way to certifying.
Yeah. Jessica, did you have anything to add before we wrap up? Because I know again, the technology is just always something else. We're going to get those links to that landing page. We're going to put the landing page in the different on all the different platforms for you to access that. We'll reinforce that on our business pages. And then for those of you who have signed up where you're directly connected to us, we'll reinforce it there. And then we ask that you share this as well for this limited time offer for anybody that's out there that could use it, and we'll reinforce it as well. We hope that regardless of what your outcome is, that you learned a lot from this and that you can tell and feel the difference. Jessica?
I was just going to say the same thing you just said. Please feel free to share this offer it may not apply to you in particular, but if you know people who have been impacted by layoffs or who are looking, transitioning, looking for a new role, please share this offer with them. We truly would if as many people take this as possible and take advantage of this amazing pricing, we're happy to do that. It means more people are, getting on the way to earning their certification, hopefully getting to that next place that they're looking to be, whether, again, that's a new role, a new direction, a new career, whatever it is that you're trying to find. So please share that. If you guys have questions, please let me know. Anthony, I'm sure user error. I was trying to find a way that I could drop my email address in the.
Yeah. What you want to put your email address out there?
If you guys have questions, you can reach out directly to me. I'm always happy to answer questions. No pressure. As Anthony said, we know that every learner is different. Everyone needs different things. Some of you may need nothing. Some of you may need a lot of support. So wherever you're at, we are here. We will answer your questions and we will help you get the answers that you need to get yourself in the right path. So feel free to reach out to me, and Anthony and Amy, of course, I'm too. They're amazing resources. And we hope we see some of you in Anthony's boot camp. Again, that sounds like really aggressive, but it's going to be awesome. And and or in some of our upcoming classes. If you're just here to learn about certification and you've got a great job and you want to take it to the next level, join us in January or February, right? So
Yep.
let us know how we can help. Thank you for just spending time with us. Like, who wants to spend time with us?
I'm going through it again. I'm going through the whole thing of that. I don't want to let them go. But there's one other thing that we definitely wanted to share. Nothing's official unless it's in writing. If you enjoyed this session in any aspect or capacity, if you could share, the greatest compliment that you could provide to us is to share this event and share this information to others. That would be the biggest compliment that you could make for us, that this was useful to you. And we will definitely follow up in regards to to next steps and everything. I hate that the link didn't work. Like, I'm actually dying on the inside of turmoil that the link didn't work
until it's not, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll say it again.
Technology is great until it's not, right?
Until it's not. This was actually it was too smooth. Something had to have happened.
Okay, Sheila says that she sees I live in McKinney. I do. Okay, I'm going to totally look for your invite too. Amy's adjacent. She's nearby, so connect with her too.
Yes. Oh, and then guys, like, look, everybody, we are part of your network. Link in with us.
Yes.
Right? Email us. We are accessible. I consider us influencers, even though LinkedIn doesn't. And we will
unofficial influencers.
Right. And we will reply to you.
We will. That's the bonus of us being unofficial, right? Like, we can
but even if we are official, we still gonna reply.
Yes, we will.
Thank you, everyone, for your time in the middle of the day. We look to see you in the feeds, and more importantly, and the class. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Anthony.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.